Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Kawakab. Right now, what I'm getting ready to present is a brief clip that is intended to serve as a visual aid for a topic that I'm going to be breaking down this evening, which is Wednesday, the 15th of September, 2010. This evening at 9 o'clock Texas time on a blog internet radio show that we have, and it's called Just for the Record. So we're going to be breaking down on that show Genesis chapter 2. And what Genesis chapter 2, between verses 10 and 14, make reference to the geographical location of where the Garden of Eden was, or where the word Eden in the scripture literally means world. And it tells you that the Lord placed a garden eastward in Eden. So it's not the garden, quote, of Eden as much as the garden that was in the world toward the east. But he uses references, geographical locations, to help us be able to center and locate where this area was. For the most part, you're going to find out it's the Middle East. Okay, the Middle East is actually, when I say the Middle East, literally from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea, to the Nile River. I shouldn't say the Euphrates, from the Tigris River to the Nile and the Mediterranean. All of this area that you see kind of shaded in was actually the region that's referred to in Genesis chapter 2 as the garden that was placed eastward. So we're going to begin. Oh, let me say this, because the people you guys that are watching this, you might not, people that follow us on YouTube, you might not know about our Blog Talk radio shows. So I'll give you the dates and the times. Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Texas time, and I say Texas time in the United States because you could be watching from anywhere in the world. 9 o'clock in the evening, Texas time, you'd go to www.blogtalkradio.com/gag. That's Wednesday evenings, and you'd get the Just for the Record show. And then at the same hour on Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m., 9 o'clock in the evening, Texas time zone, you would go to www.blogtalkradio.com/Kawakab. And on Sunday evenings, you'd get the Apocalypse How show. And that show is particularly oriented toward focusing in on and bringing to relevance the current events, all to be able to understand how close we are to being delivered. So you got those websites, you can go and check this out beside the YouTube clips. So this one, like I said, we're going to be dealing right now in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 10, where it says, "And a river went out of Eden, okay, to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads." So a lot of people, when you read that, you get the impression that there's this one river, and then from it, let's say it forks into four rivers. And it's not saying that. Number one, you got to take into consideration. Well, as a matter of fact, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's break down this verse first. "And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence," meaning from that portion, "it was parted and became into four heads." Now it's going to name it. The name of the first, talking about the first body of water, the first river, is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Now, when you deal with Havilah, before you go over there, Havilah was found in this region here. Okay, now when you go to the map that shows you where Havilah is at, you actually have this is Arabia. Today is known as Saudi Arabia. It will be known as the land of Ishmael, Havilah having been one of his descendants. You had a Havilah in the southwestern part, a part of Arabia, Arabia, and then you had another Havilah where it says Bahrain here was in the south, or I should say the southwestern and the northeastern part. So when it says it compassed the whole land of Havilah, it's talking about it's stretched all here. I'm going to show you. The first, verse 10, verse 11, the name of the first is the Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah. And if you look here, this is a map that it says the world as known to the Hebrews according to the Mosaic account, which is what we're reading here. Genesis being the first book, the first of the 5 books of Moses. This is the Havilah that it's talking about. You got Havilah, you got another Havilah here, and then of course, like we saw on the other map, Arabians, because these were all the sons of Ishmael. Kedar being his second oldest, he had Nebaioth, and all of these names, okay? The land that, the body of water that compasses all of this is talking about the Red Sea. I'm going to read it again. Verse 11, the name of the first is Pasan, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold in that land, or the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is the Gihon. Now when you say the Gihon, it says, listen, the same is that which compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. The only river that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia is the Nile. Matter of fact, let me see, where can I go? Let's go here first. This is all of Ethiopia. You see, Ethiopian highlands, okay? The only river that compasses that is the Nile. I don't know if you can get a close-up where it says Nile there. Because it starts north in Egypt. And it runs all the way down Snakes. And it continuing to compass Ethiopia. So that first river, where it said the name of the first is Paisan, is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah, is talking about Havilah being here on up to here. It's talking about the Red Sea. The second, it said the Gihon. These are the ancient names, which compass the whole land of Ethiopia. All of this. So it runs on up. It actually starts off, it is the Nile. Verse 14 says, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. I'm going to point it out to you. So we're talking about the Gihon right now. Now it says the third river is the Hiddekel. That is it which goes toward the east. If you head east, you're heading this way. But it tells you to head east toward Assyria. So let's do this. Go to the map in the middle. The reason we're doing this is because this Nile, this map didn't run all the way down as far as to show us Ethiopia. But if we still use it as a point of reference for the third river, it says you have to go all the way east. And then it said, go toward the east of Assyria. This is Assyria right here. So moving eastward toward Assyria, the river that runs parallel with Assyria, if you can see it, it says River Tigris, the Tigris River. You understand? You see that? The Tigris River. And then verse 14 says, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. And the Euphrates is right here and runs all the way down and releases in the Persian Gulf. And so does the Tigris. Comes all the way down and releases in the Persian Gulf. So now remember, let me say this. So what you're seeing is what? In history, as a matter of fact, I'm going to get into that, I'm going to go to that time period, okay? So you're going to have to bear with me while I change these maps, because I want to start off, where do I want to go? I want to start off in verse 10 again, where it said, and the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence, and from that body of water, it parted into and became into 4 heads. So a lot of people don't understand what that's saying. Let me put this over here, and I'm going to show you the 4 heads. That's a lot of maps. The river that parted into 4 heads. Let's do this. I'm going to start off with the very first map of the series, which is going to show us what area we're dealing with. Historically, it was referred to as, let's see, This map has like 33 maps. The area that's being spoken of is referred to as the Fertile Crescent. This is what it's talking about. I don't know how is the glare? Is it okay? All right. You got the body of water that it's talking about is the Indian Ocean, where from that it literally feeds to the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which leads you up into the Gulf of Oman, on up into the Persian Gulf, and there you get the Tigris River, which we already named. You get the Euphrates River, which was named also. You get the Red Sea, this right here being the land of Havilah, okay, in Arabia. And then you get the Nile, and you see the Nile runs all the way down into the Ethiopian highlands. So, I just really wanted the people tonight, because I'm going to post this video on the show page for the episode tonight. So I asked and urged that all of you check it out so that you can know the garden that was in Eden is really referring to the Fertile Crescent area. This was Eden. This was where the Most High planted man and gave Adam control of when he first made man and woman and planted us in the Garden of Eden. A lot of people always like to say that Africa is the motherland. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that scripture showing you Africa was not the motherland. I'm going to go to the book of Galatians. It's chapter 4 or 5, because I'm running out of time. This was supposed to be a small clip. This says this. This is Galatians chapter 4 and verse 26. It says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all." In other words, this is Paul writing to the Galatians, referring to Jerusalem having been the motherland. So in the center of what would be referred to as the fertile, now let's go to this map. The center of what will be referred to as the Fertile Crescent, this whole area here, this is where the garden was. These are those 4 bodies of water. The Nile, which was the Gihon, the Red Sea, which was the Pasan, the Hiddekel, which was the Tigris, and the river Euphrates was named as it is. The center of that being Jerusalem. That's why Jerusalem is always referred to as the Middle East. That is the breakdown on that. So I hope you enjoyed that. Tonight when we're breaking it down, at least you'll have a visual and you'll know what area geographically is being spoken of. All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. Don't forget to turn in to www.blogtalkradio.com/gag on Wednesday evenings at 9 o'clock Texas time, and www.blogtalkradio.com/Kawakab on Sunday evenings for the Apocalypse House Show. All right? Shalom.